Driving Miss Daisy, not the movie, but a unique franchise concept with a cause. Our conversation today takes us to Southern Australia and the director of Driving Miss Daisy, Alan Branch. Alan will share how his career as a corporate lawyer and his passion for photography helped him set the course for this much-needed service franchise. So let's get to it. Alan Branch. It's been a long time since we saw each other last.
Yeah, Willie. Now it's always on a video instead of in person. It's such a shame.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see where you are right now as a director in Driving Miss Daisy, another service franchise which has become quite popular in Australia and the UK as well, right?
Yep, and New Zealand, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. So we're getting there, and we're actually chatting with two non-English speaking countries at the moment as well, which is quite exciting. That jump from your home language to everything in another language. That's always a big step for a franchise.
Well, the name stood out for me because of the movie. And you know, it's just a brilliant marketing piece. Just having the name Driving Miss Daisy, did that complicate your licensing and figuring out how to use the name or not?
Well, I must admit, I think we've done it deliberately so that I can have a conversation with Morgan Freeman at some stage. But no, the movie was never trademarked. It did have an Australian director as so some of the sense of humour I just love because it's a bit Australian. And in fact, on many occasions, I introduce myself as Morgan Freeman without the suntan.
Maybe you'll get him to do some commercials for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
That would be great. That would be great. Alan, let me ask you a question because you've been around. You've been a franchisor, franchisee. You've been a consultant, actually a tremendous attorney, director of the Australia Franchise Council. So franchising has been a big part of your life. Basically, what do you feel are the two or three elements that someone needs to be really successful in franchising?
I think understanding that what you give to the business is what you get. What you recruit is what you get. And having a culture that both you enjoy and also that the franchisees enjoy. I think they're the three elements that I think always give you what is a long-term relationship. It's almost like a marriage. And I find it very strange that I'm talking to people and asking them to actually commit to Driving Miss Daisy for longer than the average length of a marriage. But that's the recruitment that you've got to think about. But at least when the sale occurs, instead of a divorce where you lose money, when you're selling your franchise, you make money. So it's the best divorce that can happen, and I think we also encourage our franchisees to always plan that maybe they do have to move away, but ideally they move to somewhere else and then buy another Drive Miss Daisy franchise because we've created something which is actually a scalable business, not a buy job. And I suppose we're recruiting people who have for 20 years been missing what they should have started right at the very beginning, which was really being empathetic and enjoying helping others. And a lot of them have had a job in between, which has just squeezed the life out of them. Mm-hmm. And you can just see, they go, yeah, I'm glad I found it because that's the lovely look in their eyes when they go, crikey, I really do see this as the next 10 years or 15 years. And, who commits to that nowadays?
Well, and it's rewarding because you're not only making money, but you're also doing it for a good cause. You're helping people.
Yeah, at many levels, because you've got the franchisee that's jumping into something that they now fall in love with. You have them also employing lots of people who would have done probably volunteer work. Now they're getting paid and still doing really the same sort of activity. And then you've got disabled people, you've got people who are frail, people who are aged, people who are lonely, and all of them get someone who turns up and says, "I want to brighten up your day," and they get achievement, they get independence, and they get bragging rights with any of their friends. And if they've run out of friends because they've lived too long, we actually find other people of like mind and often have them join and have a cup of tea together, and just restart their clock.
So I'm assuming that you have a certain profile that you prefer as a potential franchisee, because it takes a certain amount of maturity, no, to be able to.
Well, it was originally a profile that we assumed was empty nesters, 55 years of age, and a couple. And we have completely smashed that out of the park as being one of probably 10 different profiles that suit. What you're looking for is someone who, the minute you meet them, I could give them my house keys. The house key test, I think, is the number one option. The next one is that they have a quick understanding of things that maybe they've never heard before, and you can see there in their eyes that they can adapt and actually deal with a new person, a new situation. So house keys, absolute trust, ability to deal with things which are a little bit unexpected. That's the essence of untrainable skills. And so I'm searching in recruitment for all the untrainable skills, and some of them are a reject because the skills they've got are so wrong, and others it's so right. We have a bomb disposal expert as a franchise. That's a man who's very calm, absolutely trustworthy, follows directions. What more would you want?
What else would you ask for? Yeah.
You think about it, and you've got to trust the guy because he's got your life in his hands. But we have mainly, because we are a companion help and support driving service. So you think of who should be a companion. Who would you, if you have a little girl, she's non-verbal and she needs to be taken every day to a special school. Who would you trust to be the companion of that little girl? Now, it means that we expect it's not just an app and we pick up the little girl. We get interviewed because this could be an assignment for life. And we have clients that have seen this 500 times. It's like the loyalty factor that people have between a lady and a hairdresser. That's the loyalty that the companion gets with their client. And so I'm looking for people that understand the gravitas of that, treat it seriously, would never breach that trust.
Well, and I love that analogy that a condition that someone you'd be willing to trust your house keys with. That's pretty strong. Yep. That's pretty strong. And you're, I haven't seen you. I see you're enjoying life. You're enjoying what you're doing, because it is a service-oriented business. You're servicing the public. You're servicing the other. Now, do you feel there's a big difference between this and when we were involved in the past in the food industry, in the restaurant industry? Big difference, no?
Yeah. I suppose the biggest challenge really is not competing on price. And in the food industry, it's a tough battle to win on quality instead of on price. And often you've got to have a price leader. You've got to have sacrificing certain things. With driving Miss Daisy, the essence of being professional and understanding that to be professional means you've got to have a sustainable quality and not necessarily a point of difference, because the demand for this sort of work, I think, is beyond any scope that driving Miss Daisy could capture. So we don't mind if there's other people that also help. But we want to be the ones that everyone knows are the quality service, and that is a challenge because trying to explain quality in an emotional situation is difficult. What I do think, though, that is great about driving Miss Daisy is that we are proving that you can actually run a franchise of professionals. We're not, the franchisees are not people that just do what they're told. They are people that have independence and they are tested forever on making sure that that high quality and that standard of ethics is there all the time. How do we do it? We give them a Driving Miss Daisy Facebook page. So their personality, their profile, it's out there. And they therefore know that we trust them with the Daisy brand every day, because they can post anything they want to on that Facebook page. So we have a professional relationship with them, and that means that they really do understand that they're part of the business.
It's pretty trusting, I would say. And you even go as far as you mentioned something about greeting new franchisees with poetry, which is coming your artistic side, huh?
Well, I do.
How does that work?
I do find that people get a bit shocked when, firstly, they get shocked when I say, I'm a corporate lawyer. They go, "Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing. How could I join a franchise and my boss is going to be, or my co-worker or my support team are going to be a corporate lawyer?" Expletive. Then they realise they've got a sense of humour, and they go, "This can't be right." Then I say that I'd rather be a Daisy than a corporate lawyer, and they go, "Oh, but surely a lawyer can't change." And that's when I hit them with poetry. And then they're totally confused when I then say I'm also a commercial photographer, and I'm the owner of the two puppies that are head of pet security at Drive Miss Daisy, because of course, if you're dealing with people who are frail and vulnerable, they have a pet, and so we're pet friendly.
Of course.
You ask any veterinarian, and they say, "Well, no one brings pets to the vet except for family." Now it's family plus Drive Miss Daisy. But yeah, our recruitment program is multiple meetings because I challenge them to decide if they like me, because I'm their support team. My co-director Stan Zetz, a chartered accountant, a president of the South African Chartered Accountants Association, so and an auditor. Okay, so you got a lawyer and an auditor. The worst nightmare of possibilities as your support team or franchisor, but we win them over.
So you really feel that there's really no set personality. It's all about the individual connection that you make with them that really makes it work.
Look, so I've been a lawyer sort of pretty much all my life, and the way that lawyers get together is that they are constantly in communication back and forth. So what do? On the first Monday and third Monday of every month, we have a franchise meeting with all the franchises. And we set such interesting topics that they turn up and they watch the return video and they do, we are with them, twice a month, and then plus phone calls, plus we've got a support team, we've got all sorts of people that, heavens, my legal secretary from 20 years ago came back to work with me. Now that's a better CV than anything. The lawyer who didn't scare off his own employees has to be, that's I should start with that as my CV.
But that's always been your strength, is your personality too, Alan, since I've known you. I mean, we've known each other 25 years at least, and it's part of the charm.
Well, look, and just like my coffee cup, there's always a black sheep. Yeah.
So, what do you feel the potential is a potential for Driving Miss Daisy for growth worldwide? Do you feel I feel there's a need, because the service you're providing is something that's going to be in demand pretty much all around the world.
Well, we've trademarked a phrase which I think explains it, that we're family when family can't be there. And if you imagine how flexible that term is to deal with all the things that are a companion service. And so we are the person that takes your niece who's got Down syndrome to your daughter's wedding, and we look after the lady with Down syndrome through the wedding reception, making sure she gets to the photographs, gets to the bain marie. In fact, even has a dance, and if no one's dancing with her, the Daisy is going to stand up and have a dance with her. We're the person that takes a person to their court case, and because they're hard of hearing, we write the notes out for the person and help them with their discussions in a court case. We know that you're worried about your mum, and so we pick your mum up. She's got dementia. We will make sure that the handover is with a photograph to make sure that she's not lost. The endless amount of things that we do, which are based on competency and complete trust.
Trust is the key word, isn't it? Because you're becoming part of the family.
You've got to have quality as well. Yep. We're family when family can't be there, but we're not insulting the family, because what we've found is that a lot of people actually want independence from their family, even though they love them. The classic is you have a lady who's in tears because this is the first time that she's ever been able to buy Christmas presents in secret.
That is so cool.
We take her, and she buys the Christmas presents. She's always had to do it with the family taking it.
That is so cool. That's a great analogy. If let's just say I'm interested in Miss Daisy or any other concept in franchising, what do you feel are questions I should be asking of you, of the franchisor?
Yeah, I suppose for me the tricky thing is how do you take the step from being a franchise that is internally fantastic and has a strong culture, and now wants to do the next step, which is let's now rapidly grow. Let's get out there and let's trust our existing franchisees to be the guardians of our culture. Now we are at 50 franchises, so that's within Australia. That's during COVID. We've expanded to 50 franchises across a big area of Australia, And now we think that those 50 are our brand guardians, and we can now actually expand the business quicker. But now we've got the challenge of bringing in people, coping with inducting them, making sure we mentor them, do all those things. We've got the fortnightly meetings, so we know we can keep in touch with them. But we're going to then grow, and instead of me interviewing everyone, we'll have others. We've already got others in our executive team. We're making sure that everyone has another double. So I'm completely replaceable, and that's to me, that's where we're at the moment. And everyone is facing the challenge that they have to enjoy, knowing that they're completely replaceable, but being still part of the team and not feeling worried about it.
But that's what you build when you build trust in your team, no?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's and I think it's something you and I talked about off screen before, which is being a little bit fearless, and knowing that that the team have got your back, and it's actually something that we make very clear with all our office team and also everyone else, is that the only time you know you've got teamwork is when you make a mistake. That's the only time. Otherwise, it just might be just that they're nice to you. But when you make a mistake and they jump in and they help you and they fix it, wow, that's when you know you've got teamwork. And that's why the franchisees work together. They don't compete against each other, because they know also that if they get an assignment and they need 15 vehicles, and each one of them don't have 15, they all join together, they work it out. We also we use Microsoft Teams for our software system. Now Microsoft Teams has a chat room system. Franchisors probably go, no, don't have a chat room, don't let them talk to each other. We do the opposite, absolutely the opposite, unrestricted.
At Action Coach, we have a similar culture where people step in to help. One of our coaches falls ill or something, and someone else always steps in to help out. And there's a WhatsApp group where the whole community talks to each other, because if someone needs help from one end of the world, and we got presence in over 80 countries, you need help in one part of the world, you get an answer like within minutes, almost instantly. It's almost like having a chat room, and it's all positive. It's all reflective on helping out and trying to have an answer for your problem, and that makes a big difference as a franchisor.
You've got to be fearless about that, because if you aren't, I'm sure the chat room can be negative. But because you say to people, I want a chat room because I need to know, I can't find a solution if you just keep silent. Even if it is a bad thing, just tell me, because, I've spent my entire career finding a better result than the one that you're in at the moment. I'm a business optimizer. So that's what I want them to know. And the thing is, though, they then stop thinking of negative stuff. They just think of, okay, I've got 2 good results. How can I choose between 2 good results? Now, that's a chat room.
And your business, your law firm, if I remember right, was Optimise 360, I believe, or something.
Yeah, Optivance 360, and look, we did some wonderful work. We set up the entire loyalty program for Qantas. It's probably during COVID, it was probably more valuable than the aircraft business itself. So it's all about, I think, internally also just making sure that you don't settle on just being comfortable. You've got to keep asking yourself, what don't I know? And then because every time you find something that you don't know, then you decide, is that part of me, or is it, can I exclude it? McConaughey did a fabulous speech which was all about, you define yourself initially by working out what you are not. So to keep doing that when you're a person who now enjoys life because they don't look in the mirror, that age person, you've got to keep looking for new things to keep that definition going. Otherwise, you're lazy.
Well, not only have you had a wonderful, fun-filled life, as an attorney, a member of the Franchise Council of Australia for so long. So I remember meeting you, I think, when you were still there, director there, accomplished photographer. Your photography is absolutely magnificent, which that was a question that I had for you. Are you concerned that they see you wearing so many hats? Well, you've been here, you've been there. You're like you say, corporate attorney.
No. What I explain is that everything is focused on the same issue, which is that I use photography to practice imagination. And in business, you need imagination. So everything I layer on top of each other, being consistent with what it is. So being a corporate lawyer specialising in joint ventures, I'm a relationship guy. I know how to look at relationships. I then look at long-term joint ventures. So now I'm saying that I actually have to take the good and the bad, because what I tell people in this day, 10 years later, I'm still with them, and they say, well, I remember what you said us 10 years ago, and it's either thank you or, you're responsible. So to me, everything that I do is consistent with that, and making sure that I also can have a bit of fun so that they also have a bit of fun. Excuse me, but, we do have proper glasses. Now, that's worth a photograph. But, the reality is, if the boss isn't willing to join in, what's the point?
Well, unless you're having fun, you can't. Life is not too serious, is it? No, that's.
But having fun is a challenge, because it to be sustainably having fun,
yeah,
is about quality. So now that wells back into what you've got, is the fact that, as I think I said in that poem I read to you, we're not a companion who is trying to be a comedian. Brightening up your day is a different concept to being a comedian.
correct.
But yeah, and fun, I challenge anyone to sit opposite each other with your friend, with your partner, and each have a blow bubbles with you, and then each blow bubbles at each other. See if the troubles of the world have disappeared after 30 seconds. Because now those bubbles are intersecting, they're bursting, there's a rainbow in them. And your brain has completely and utterly gone into another sphere. And you also remember that it's been 60 years since you've actually blown bubbles. Wow, that's what we take our clients and passengers through. But we also have fun. For example, we have a gentleman who hates Wednesday's meal at the returned soldiers establishment that he now lives in. So the Daisy came up with a wonderful idea that they found a plate. They put the plate in his room, and he now on Wednesdays goes looking for the rest of the dinner service. The cup, all the things that go with it. Now, this is a search that he will never ever complete. but every Wednesday he can leave now with a purpose. The chef doesn't know that he doesn't like the food on Wednesdays. Of course, he goes to the hotel and has a meat pie or something else. But we create something, and now everyone else in the whole place also knows that there's fun and secrets going on. That's what you do.
You're creating an experience, basically.
Yeah, and it moves on to half-day tours. It goes on to day tours. We take people even on cruise liners. Incredible. We have one lady. She's managed by some very expert people, but she has a willingness to buy things that she shouldn't. It's cheaper to have a Daisy come with her on this entire holiday, because the Daisy will just politely say, you shouldn't buy that ring. Why don't we look at something else? And that's the she has a daily limit of what she can spend, and it avoids her buying something ridiculously expensive because that's how people would trick her. Now, that's a companion for you, a trusted companion.
I see you. I see you happy. I see you relaxed. I think that I think this is something that was in the making for you, and after all your accomplishments, I believe that you finally found your calling.
Look, it is one that there's no end to the level of sophistication that you can keep finding in building a relationship with originally strangers. One of the statistics that you might find quite extraordinary is that 62% of our clients use us every month, and more than 50% of our clients use us every week. Now, that in itself is like you asking someone, do you have McDonald's every week? Do you have pizza every week with the same organisation and the same vendor? That's why we have an unusually high loyalty factor. Now, we turn that to the client's favour. Because they're so loyal to us, it helps them not cancel their physiotherapist. It helps them not cancel their chiropractor. It helps them not cancel their hairdresser, because they don't want to have us miss out on a journey with them. They therefore go to the physio and they feel better. They go to the hairdresser, they look better. Now they want to be independent. That's the cycle that you can.
So you're feeding the community. You continue to feed the community, the businesses in the community, and so forth.
Yeah. And look, you know me. My hopefully forte. People thought I had any skill was to be persuasively strategic. And so you break down all the elements of everything that you are achieving, and then just reshuffle the jigsaw pieces to create another persuasively strategic result. Because every one of those jigsaw pieces can be shifted to another purpose, and it becomes something where even the physiotherapist wants to be involved, because they'll then have a daisy seat. And people will be curious, why is there a daisy sticker on that seat? Well, and so the story comes.
Marketing 101.
Yeah, it's as old school as you get. We don't have an app. Why? Because the first phone call takes 20 minutes. Because the person is wanting to know, can they trust us? And we want to know, do they have a hearing aid? Are they blind? Are they, do they need a wheelchair? Are they albino and that we need to bring our Daisy umbrella with us? So many questions that have to be answered, so that, we do online booking for businesses, that's fine, we can do that, but the personal touch is essential. And then you've also got to make sure that you are completely reliable, and that's what I suppose that's what family has to be, is reliable, and that's where we step in, and we're very, very happy that we can encourage people who are fit and healthy to use taxis or Uber or Lyft or the like, because their business model is looking at how many kilometres you are. So William, you make a booking, you're 27 kilometres, but I turn up and I'm 67 kilometres. They don't care about a personality, so they're happy to flip you and come and be my transport, because that's their logic. You are a certain number of kilometres or miles. Sorry, I've got to translate it properly. And we are not that. We are the person. We look after the person, not the kilometres or not the miles. So we're quite happy to say, look, we're not in competition with taxis or Uber. They've got a completely different business model.
You're not only a drive service; you're a companion service.
Yeah. It's a concept which I think has become very easy for people to grasp, but they need a few examples, a few things that just make them realise, because it's sort of like it's like a deep dark shadow that no one's ever thought about, but being a companion is actually a very valid service. But you've got to be, you've got to have all the elements that we recruit to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you are someone who this week is fantastic, next week is terrible, the week after that they're fantastic again. They're inconsistent, or they just become less and less fantastic.
Well, my friend, it's been great catching up with you. I am happy that you were able to make it this morning. Happy to see your face again, your smiling face. It's been a while. And I still remember a dinner we had in Sao Paulo somewhat years ago. And we discovered each other's photography. And I think that's created a bond that lasted past the business cycles that we've been through, and continues to bring us together.
And if I'm correct, that was where the restaurant had the tree in the middle.
Fugaya? Rubaya.
Yes. Yeah, an extraordinary thing.
Rubaya in Sao Paulo, yes.
Yes, I think franchising became bigger than I ever realised it could be in Sao Paulo. Obviously Las Vegas, lots of things there were big, but that was almost Hollywood.
Yes, it was.
No, thank you, and look, I've really appreciated your own. You're a comrade in arms, and I think what you always bring for me is just unlimited generosity. It's that element, and I always say you can never ever fake generosity. It's the one true skill that you either got it or you don't. And thank you.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Alan. It was a pleasure to meet you again and to see you and spend some time with you.
Look, I look forward to another time. Another topic.
I look forward to seeing you. Maybe you will come to IFA one of these occasions, and we'll catch up together.
Look forward to it. Cheers, Ed.
Thanks for joining us today, and hope you have gained some valuable insights into the world of franchising. My name is William Lesante, and I would like to invite you to the next episode of the Franchise Coach podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share with your network. Also, click the link below to learn more about franchising with Action Coach. Thank you.